What's happening, y'all? It's the Daily Hologram here with your host, Josiah Emmanuel Selena. Coming at you with another album review today. This time I've gone back to select an album that was released in 2006 by one of my favorite rappers of all time, KJ-52, and it was his Remixed project. Now, this album was KJ's fully fledged entrance into self production. He teased us a little bit with self production on Behind the Music when he was under the reins of Todd Collins. And due to creative differences, they decided to temporarily part ways at the time, even though they were happily reunited for KJ-52's Jonah documentary, where Todd Collins talks in detail about him and KJ's relationship and their production relationship as well. But man, oh man, on KJ's remix project, he could have fooled me into thinking that Todd Collins produced this project because KJ's production is so underrated. It's just really shines through on this album and in future projects after this. I mean, KJ had this self producing trend going on for a nice little chunk of his career. And I really appreciated what he had to offer musically, along with his undeniable songwriting ability as well. So let's get into this 15-track album, obviously with a hidden track at the time, which included a contest for anyone who wanted to rap over the Things I Like instrumental and receive a prize at the time. But we'll just leave that part out for now. So, 15 tracks, here we go. 2 original songs, 13 remixes. Before I even start with the review, what I appreciated what KJ did with this record is he did not approach it like an average remix record. Even though we hear a lot of artists do this from time to time, KJ makes sure that he didn't do like a one-off remix where he has a few different vocals or new lyrics or a few different or new features. Instead, he made sure to lace that theme throughout the entire remix record, where every song either has a new feature or new lyrics. And I really appreciate the way he did this. And even if the song had no new lyrics, which is a little rare in this occasion, he would still make the effort to re-record his vocals. Now, that's not something that artists often do. A lot of artists still do, but I do appreciate the extra effort he made just to even make some of his remixes sound a teeny bit more fresh, and it shines through on this project. So let's get started. So the album starts with 5 Tweezy Disco Mania remix. Compared to the original, it's not that far off in sound. It sounds like a little mid or tiny bit slowed down tempo of its original counterpart. Could be the same BPM, I don't know, just that I prefer the bounce of the original. A little head nodding like Without Me by Eminem. But this version is more classic KJ disco sound. Sorry, emphasis on KJ disco sound because it's almost his take on it. It's a nice, fun song. KJ had this trend of introducing a lot of his albums with very funny lyrics, and this is no exception. Especially making fun of Tom Cruise bouncing on Oprah's couch and stuff like that at the time. KJ-52 has had a lot of hilarious pop culture lines like that, and this one's no different. Fun way to start the album. Number 2, Revenge of the Nerds, Horns of Plenty remix featuring Pigeon John once again. The original was from his Collaborations record in 2002. This version, again, does not stray away too far from the sound of the original. But Pigeon John's new verse is a nice welcome. KJ re-recording his vocals sounded great on here. This one comes down to a matter of preference. I don't think the original and remix are too far apart from each other to really prefer one or the other. It's sort of like if you enjoy one, you're bound to enjoy the other. That kind of situation. Number 3, Dear Slim Part 2 True Story remix. A remix of one of KJ's probably most talked about and maybe slightly divisive songs of all time. the song we're into Eminem to talk about an invitation towards salvation. This song in particular, I believe this version is the deepest version, even though he doesn't do a lot of lyrical changes compared to the original Dear Slim Part 2. It continues the story with a more updated version where he even references how Marshall Mathers' wife heard the song and liked it. So hearing references like that is encouraging. We still don't know to this day if Eminem really paid attention to the full song in its whole context, but this one is a really nice, almost like great bonus feature to the story. Number 4, 47 MCs plus 18 more remix. Now, in my opinion, this is KJ at his finest. He had a trend, like I said earlier, of taking pop culture references and making amazing songs out of them. This one is hands down his best. I'm not even going to be debated on it. Sure, he had the original 47 MCs, which was a nice rapping over beatbox, almost like how Lecrae teases about releasing a double album over beatboxing like Dougie Fresh, except KJ-52 just did it for that, that particular track on the Collaborations album. This time he actually gets actual beats with a DJ Morphosis on the ones and twos. But KJ, my goodness, this is him at his lyrical prime, in my opinion. He takes you starting the track from I believe it's the East Coast. It goes through a bunch of East Coast name dropping. His name dropping songs are always top notch. I think he fell off when he started trying to do like Superhero on the Dangerous album. But for a long time here, especially when he did like 47 MCs, 47 pop stars, video games, his pop culture reference songs were top notch at that time period. But this is hands down the best. So after the East Coast rappers, he goes to the West Coast, which he did not show us in the original version. Then he goes to Old School and ends the song with Dirty South. It's a real enjoyable hip hop trip. I do not see how a hip hop fan could dislike this song, to be honest. Number 5, I Can Call on You Piano Love Remix, featuring Liquid, Victor Oquendo, whichever, Liquid Beats, whatever name you want to, or moniker you want to call him by. He goes by many different monikers. It's a nice R&B tinge compared to the original. Again, it feels like a slowed down, almost near chopped and screwed version, but it's not chopped and screwed because you can still hear all the vocals clear as day. It's just that the tempo of it sounds like a chopped and screwed version, even though there's no chopped and screwed vocals. I do not prefer this over the original. I'm sorry. The original was just too classic. Ted T killed that beat, and KJ's take on it is a welcome, fresh approach, but it can't reach how unforgettable the original I Can Call on You was with featuring Donnie Lewis. Number 6, one of my favorite rap rock songs, if not my favorite rap rock song of all time, Are You Real? I can't really pick a favorite out of the original or the remix. This is the Oregon Trail remix, which features Falling Up. At that time, it was 2 members of Falling Up, but the 2 members at that time, one went to a solo career and the other stuck with Falling Up. That was at that time Jesse Rabordi and Joseph A. Kisselberg or Kisselbo. Forgive me for butchering his name. But the original was done with John Michael Summerall of Cutlass and was produced by Aaron Sprinkle. This one was remixed by Joseph A. Kisselberg, who went to do his solo effort called Descend. But this version is a much edgier version. It's a much deeper version. I love the new hook, the new chorus. It goes against typical song structure style when it comes to a song like this. But this one and the original are hands down 2 of my favorite rock recordings of all time. Jesus Reggaeton Remix is number 7, featuring none other than Funky. I mean, who better to get on a Christian reggaeton song than the king of Christian reggaeton, which is Funky. So KJ-52 dipping his heels into Spanish vibes here, and he continues that trend later on in the 5-2 Television album in 2009 when he reunited with Funky for the Fuego track. But this was a nice dip into it. I believe it's DJ Pablo who produced the track. It's fun for what it is. It's not top-notch reggaeton, But it's a nice middle of the line track on the album, and of course, funky Spanish vocals are always nice and welcome. Number 8, Plain White Rapper Kalimba remix. Again, doesn't stray too much from the original's sound, but gives it a really nice tweak that makes it sound very different yet very much the same as the original. It doesn't have as many annoying ad libs as the original did, as entertaining as they were. They could be a nuisance to some. This one is free from that. It's more like a straight rap track. So maybe for that reason alone, this might be the better version, but it's left up to preference. I enjoy both. All right, number 9, Rock With It, Old School Eat to the Beat Lunch Mix. On the album, it's like labeled Eat to the Beat Lunch Mix Remix, but Mix Remix sounds a little redundant, so I'm just going to leave it at that. This is KJ-52 old school rapping at its finest. I mean, I love Do What I Do and We Rock the Mic. We Rock the Mic from the 7th Avenue album, but those are excellent old school vibes. This one kind of just celebrates it, and the constant changing beat, similar to what he did on 47 MCs, is also very welcome. This time it's only old school beats though. But DJ Morphosis kills it on the ones and twos once again by ending off the track in a solid DJ turntable classic way. And just fun. Plain fun. 10, Mullet Pride Country Crunk Remix. Now, KJ has a slew of comedy songs or parody songs or just silly songs where he tries to sing when he knows he's not really truly singing, but just for the fun of it. Almost like VeggieTales type of silly songs. I would put this song in this category. Mullet Pride is not one of his best, though. I would much rather listen to Plain White Rapper in a minivan or Piece of Junk Car, possibly Mountain Dew, even though that I know KJ gets tired of getting praise for that song too. But this, no. Sorry, my dude. Country Crunk Remix. Yeah, and cowbell and all that. It's a nice little phase. You've hit a few, you've missed a few. This was a huge miss. Don't ever do this again. Number 11, For the Ladies Soul Vibe Remix. Once again, featuring Liquid. He did a much better job on this record. Even though For the Ladies featuring Seth Reddy on the Behind the Music album, the original had a more din 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 like sort of club bounce to it. This one lives up to the title of Soul Vibe Remix. It really smoothens the track out. It's a nice ride, wavy feel, and a much easier, more pleasant listen, I would say, than the original. Now, do I welcome the new lyrics? Yeah, they're just on par with the original, even though I feel like the way KJ recorded it sounded a lot more daring in the original, but I think he comes across as more approachable this time when talking to the ladies. So that could be welcome, matter of preference once again. Number 12, Things I Like, Timbo Jones Remix. I cannot tell you how many times I would want a KJ-52 Golden Child reunion, like a permanent reunion, because these two sound so good together every time they get on track together. Things I Like, Timbo Jones Remix is no different. It's probably one of the best club bangers on this album, period. You could put it toe-to-toe with any 50 Cent club banger, to be honest with you. It is a really, really tight song. Great fun. Love it. And again, going back to that principle of a lot of things I like, but one thing I love, referencing into they mention a bunch of things that they like in life, but none of them compared to the one they love, which is Jesus. So, shout out there. Number 13, Washed Up Double Time Remix. This remix was a nightmare. It was not necessary. KJ's reasons for doing this is because he felt that the original was too long and slow to perform live, so he figured if he double timed it, it might make it easier to perform live. Dude, you should have just saved it for the live version. This studio version was completely unnecessary, does not touch the original version, and the ad-libs were way funnier in the original than this. It's KJ's sarcasm at its finest when it comes to referencing the VH1 hate and all the hate he went through with Dear Slim, but please listen to the original version. Do not even come close or near this version. This version was whack, okay? Sorry to be so harsh, my dude KJ, if you're listening. All right, number 14, Run for Cover, featuring Trevor McNiven, if I'm saying it right. aka T-Rock of Thousand Foot Crutch, also of FM Static fame as well. My gosh. Oh, and also I have to mention T-Rock's rap moniker, which is I Am the Storm. Run for Cover again. Such a great rap rock song. So simple, nothing over the top about it, but it's just so it's the right amount of grunge, yet the right amount of hip hop. It's just a fit right in the middle. It may come off as a play it safe sort of rap rock song for some. Sorry if you think I'm doing a triangle thing. No, I'm not trying to salute Jehovah or whatever. Or Illuminati. Y'all can figure that out yourselves. Uh, Illuminati jokes are getting old. Run for Cover is such a dope track. Um, it's just a really cool listen. If you're a rap rock fan, I don't. You may not love this song, but you're at least gonna like it. You're at least gonna like it. Number 15. If anyone could have paid a proper tribute to the movie classic for nerds like me, Napoleon Dynamite, this is the perfect tribute. You will never get a better uh, tribute song to that movie, Napoleon Dynamite, than this song. Sorry. If you consider yourself a Napoleon Dynamite fan and you have not heard this song, do yourself a favor and play this song. It's like reliving the movie in a 3-minute song version. And plus, he even adds a tinge of himself into it by adding, his love for Jesus in it too. So there's no way you can go wrong with this track. Like, please. Unless you are extremely anti-Jesus and can't even have him mentioned once in the song, then you'll have a problem. But Napoleon Dynamite fans out there, please, please give this song a listen. It's silly, it's bonkers, but it's so Napoleon Dynamite. Like, seriously, it's like reliving the movie. KJ did his homework on this movie, and believe me, it shows in this song. So that wraps up the KJ-52 Remixed album review by yours truly, the Daily Hologram, aka Josiah Emmanuel Selena. Thank you for checking out my channel. Subscribe if you would like for more daily updates. And like I said, this is a channel where I could talk about anything and everything that I feel the need to talk about, whether it be politics, music, Bible stuff, entertainment, movies, this whole beer bug, as Geeks and Gamers likes to put it. But I'm trying to relieve you guys because I know you guys are getting flooded with those type of news all day long. So maybe, hopefully, this is something fresh. Anyway, do your homework. KJ-52, in my book, one of the greatest rappers and producers, a living legend. And love the dude. KJ, if you're watching this, peace and blessings to you. All right, take care, you guys. Stay safe and healthy.